Welcome to a pivotal moment in the world of broadcast as we proudly present the Men's Mental Health Show featuring the renowned Larry Mabry in collaboration with the Maassen Group. This essential exploration of men's mental health wouldn't be possible without the invaluable support of Rainier Avenue Radio World. Now, let's dive into this crucial conversation with Larry Mabry and the Maassen Group. Your mental well-being matters. Here's Larry Mabry.
Hey, welcome. It's this hot as Hades day of July 8th, 2024. Hopefully you guys are staying well hydrated, making sure that you guys are staying in a nice, cool, very comfortable place so you can at least get your thoughts together because it's hot outside. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about basically how people in our lives kind of affect what we learn. So let me break that down for you. So a lot of times, we deal with people in our lives and we kind of get frustrated and we think that, oh man, this person acted this way, so I'm going to handle it this way. And, for those individuals that are listening, I first of all, I want to thank you guys for listening, but also want to pose this thing for you to think about. Imagine if you are living in a reality where pretty much everything you experience is for you. And so what that means is all the challenges you have is supposed to teach you lessons. All the successes you have are supposed to teach you lessons. All of the experiences that you have in your life are supposed to teach you vital lessons. And think of Earth as like being a school, right? So it's like you don't graduate to the next level in the Earth school until you learn these lessons. And so I want to kind of put this out here for you. So I've noticed for me, since I've started taking this particular perspective, my life has changed. And so you have these individuals in your life that sometimes cause you frustration. They may cause you pissivity, where you get so pissed off, anger, or you find yourself kind of going in a hamster wheel in life. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, at the end of the day, if I'm hitting a wall in my life, if I'm hitting a wall in my situation, what can I do to change the situation, right? And so I noticed for me, when I had a situation that was very challenging and I took that approach and I made the changes, it didn't really matter what the individual did, because at the end of the day, you can only control yourself. You can't control anyone else. And so I noticed that when I started making changes, like drastically, things improve, like things change like hugely. And so I want to kind of bring this up to you. So recently, I've been having a situation where this individual has been very, very difficult in terms of when we have a conversation, they get frustrated. They misinterpret kind of how I communicate things. It's been very, very frustrating. And I had to take a step back. Initially, I would get frustrated and kind of go back and forth with that individual. And so I said, you know what, that's not really working. At the end of the day, I'm wasting my energy. And so I had to take a step back and ask myself, okay, what can I do different? What can I do different? And so what I realized for myself, and I want to kind of put this out here for you guys, is I had to change my approach. And so when you take a step back and you change your approach and you're coming from your heart and you're coming from a place of love with resolving the issue, typically it works out. But here's the challenge. If the individual that you're trying to work through, if they're frustrated and you act or treat them with frustration, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to get to the end result. And so while they are basically going through their anxiety or their frustration or whatever situation they're pretty much projecting on you, you have to take an opposite approach, right? Think about it in terms of energy exchange. If somebody's coming to you on 10, don't give them 10, give them 1 or 0. Right? If somebody's coming to you at 5, you give them a 5. And so basically match the energy. And so I've noticed since I've been using that approach, a lot of things have been working out. Right? And so how do you handle this situation? How do you deal with it? Well, initially, when this particular individual entered my life, I was very frustrated, asking myself, okay, what is going on? Everything's popping, everything's going well. All of a sudden, this individual comes in my life, and I'm like, okay, this is tough. This is what is this? And so I basically kind of pushed against it initially, And I would say it took me a good couple weeks to kind of get myself together because I was just asking universe, like, what's up? What's going on? What everything is cool, everything smokes, flowing. The universe basically was saying, you know what, it's time for you to step to the next level. And so basically the universe gives you frustration, or to give you lessons that you have to learn that actually come through frustration. But the benefit of this situation is it's taught me to be more emotionally intelligent and not allow outside people or situations outside myself to deter me on my goal and what I envision to do. But also, too, this individual was asking for things for me to assist this person. And I ended up assisting this person. But I realized, if I thought of it like, you know what, if this person's an extension of me and I help this person, it's basically me helping myself. Right. And so I was being more mindful of how I approached the individual. So if the individual came at 10, I would respond with 0 or 1, still handle the situation, kind of make sure, if you have to protect your energy and be away, that's important sometimes, because sometimes you have to do that. But what I did notice is when I would process or think about that interaction, I thought about, okay, what is it that I could do different? Or what is it that I did that was out of pocket? A lot of times, we have conflict with an individual. We're quick to call, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. But what I've learned in my many years is basically whenever you point a finger, 3 are pointing right back at you. So what are some things that you can do different? Did you raise your voice at the individual, which basically made them feel uncomfortable? So now they basically retaliated or leashed out at you. Did you invade their space, right? Maybe you didn't give a person enough room. So now they're feeling uncomfortable. And so they responded, with a certain type of rigor or anxiety, right? Were you curt and not really being open to hear what they have to express? That part, I think, is some things that people take for granted, right? A lot of times, when people are expressing themselves, give them space. What type of language are you using towards that person? Are you basically hearing them out? Are you shutting them down? Are you basically saying words that's not really acknowledging their feelings? These are things that can trigger people. And so when you've mastered the art of yourself, by that I mean you've mastered to the point that no matter what anyone does around you, you don't allow that to affect how you respond. Then you notice that the universe of the world kind of changes around you. And so I'm bringing this out to the forefront because I've had many clients kind of ask me, okay, how do you handle it when people come at you? Now, I'm not saying that you just allow people to be disrespectful. Obviously, you have to set the boundaries and communicate to people. However, if somebody's coming at you on 10, you can still put them on check on 1 or 2. In fact, putting them in check like that actually has more weight, because, or if it's to the point where they're so loud or so just disrespectful and you just give them a look and walk away, silence is very powerful, because at the end of the day, you didn't give them any fuel to use to throw back at you. So the fact that they came at you with daggers and you backed off and you were quiet, then guess what? They're processing what they did, and they realize that, man, okay, I came at this person like I was wrong, and this person didn't even come at me like that. Like, what's up? So hopefully that individual was doing some introspection, and they're doing some self analysis so that they can change their behavior. But I wanted to bring this up because what happens when you have a person that's in your life that's very challenging and difficult? These individuals are actually the best teachers. You might say, what? Well, yeah, they are, because what happens is if you have an individual that you don't want to really be around, then you have to ask yourself, okay, what is it about you? By you, I mean you, that is infuriating people to the point where you don't want to be around them, right? Do you love yourself? I mean, it sounds good when you say it, but are you really showing love to yourself? And so I'm putting this out here because I personally realize that I have to show more love to myself, right? And so different things I'm doing different. So I'm waking up early, doing my little affirmations, doing things for myself, starting to go for walks. I'm starting to really enjoy these walks because I'm noticing that, one, I get a lot of chance to let my mind be free. I'm working on a little weight loss journey, so the walks allow me to move the lymph, so I can move around a little bit more, come back, take a shower, feel a little bit better. And also too, because I'm doing that, I'm being mindful of what I'm eating, so I'm eating a little bit more healthy. Very, very important. And so, what are you doing to kind of show love to yourself, right? Be mindful of words that you say about yourself. Very, very important. Sometimes we have a lot of negative self-talk, and that right there, unfortunately, our subconscious believes that if we have this negative self-talk and we don't shut it down, then our subconscious basically we create situations where we self-sabotage the life and the wisdom and the things that we want to gain in our life. Because yeah, let's say we're working towards something, but because we're saying something negative to ourselves even under our breath, the subconscious doesn't realize this. And so guess what? You may go out to get a situation, think things are going, and all of a sudden you don't follow through because your subconscious is not supporting you. So be mindful of certain beliefs that you are basically perpetuating that's not helping you move forward. Very important. And so for me, I had to step back and say, okay, I know I have to eat better. Then I had to open up the fridge and be honest with myself. Okay, if I have a lot of food up in here that's not going to help me be healthy, come on now. Is that going to be helping me reach my goal? Some of the stuff I had to throw away. What I had to do is I had to change my habits. And so now making most of my food now, becoming more creative with some flavor. I used to eat out a little bit more, but I realized I actually save money actually because the food out here is expensive. So anyway, I digress. But anyway, that individual basically, I noticed that they were struggling with past events. So I asked myself, are there things within my life that I focus on from the past that are really irrelevant? Why am I putting this energy into things that are irrelevant? Right? Went through my closet, threw away everything that I don't really need. I mean, I had some stuff up in there. I'm like, really? What is this? I don't really need this. Which is cool because what ends up happening is you end up opening up the space. So now you bring in more wealth, you bring in more success, you bring in more things to you because now you have space for it. And so this particular individual really helped me have a deep dive within myself and say, okay, at the end of the day, you can never control any person. That's not your job because they have free will. But what can you do for yourself? If you're around someone that does not want to achieve, then what are you doing with yourself to achieve? Are you still kicking up with the same people? Oh, and I want to bring that up too. When you go on this journey and you start doing self-help for yourself, unfortunately, you will lose some people. But ironically, you'll gain other people. So this is the part that's kind of cool. So some people will fall out of your life. However, those individuals that fell out, you have to ask yourself, okay, were they really helping me build to the next level? Or were they helping keeping me stagnant? And so you got to have real talk with yourself, right? Just like if I have certain dietary foods that I eat, I got to ask myself, yeah, this is juicy. This is great. This is good. But is it really helping me reach my goals? And if the answer is no, then I have to make a choice. I have to make a better decision. It is easy? No, it's not easy. Of course, it's not easy. However, is it worth it? Of course it is. So the question I have for you is, are you worth it? I would say yes. But the question is, do you believe you are? Right? And I'm putting this out here because sometimes if you're around certain individuals, they don't really allow you to shine because unfortunately they're not shining. And so how can they help you shine if they're not really shining? And you may say, what do you mean shining? What I mean by that is if you're out here, you're trying to reach your full potential, one or two things are going to happen. One, you're going to have some people that are hating on you, or two, you're going to have some people that are asking you, hey, what are you doing? Right? What does that tell you? Well, that's telling you that from their perspective, they feel like you're trying to outshow them or you're trying to achieve something that's not possible. However, that's not really your problem. Your problem, your responsibility is yourself, right? And when you're coming from a abundance mindset, you realize that everything you want, everything you desire out here is yours. Period. End of discussion. However, society will make you believe that there's like haves and nots, right? Have and have nots. There's wealth and scarcity, right? But if you think about it, like just think about Washington. If you were to walk out in Washington and you take a hike on pretty much any trail, could you not see like the abundance around you? Like, I mean, just think about all the different trees that we have that grow up here in Washington. I mean, that alone is abundance, right? If you take a hike and you see all the nettles or all the trees or all the steps you have to take or all the grass or just the vastness of Washington, it's so beautiful. It's a testament to truly that abundance is the only thing that really exists. However, if we step out of nature And we prioritize people trying to sell us things because basically they're trying to manipulate us to buy certain things. Why? It's because they want more money. But if we step outside that paradigm and we say, you know what, the only thing that exists is abundance, and we step in that space, we step in that energy, and guess what? That's what we attract. However, the question is, what's your focus? It's not something that you can focus on for one day. It's something that you have to change within yourself so that you can focus it eternally, right? But it depends on you. And for some individuals, they might say, oh, you know what, Larry, man, you talking hogwash, whatever, bruh. That's cool. I challenge you. You know, I personally came from a place in the Detroit area that was all about scarcity, all about scarcity. What's up? Hey, Soul, appreciate you reaching out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Help me understand if you can vibe with this, right? So basically, came from a place in the D, right? All about scarcity because I chose and made different choices and came out here to Washington, decided to live my life a little bit different, cleaning some things within myself, some traumas and things of that nature. Had to cut some people off. My life has changed tremendously. Yours can too, if that's what you desire, right? And there's a lot of generational things that we're struggling with too, with our families, with some of the things that they taught us, right? Um, but you know, for those individuals, there's a higher power out here too that has what we call the divine right, which supersedes all rights. If you get in alignment with that, I mean, it's checkmate, right? But how do you get that? Well, first of all, you got to heal yourself because you got a right to be the best optimal person you need to be. And so that's why mental health is important. Because if you're operating out here in a space of love for self and taking care of self, then guess what? The love that you have for self will reverberate out to other people. You'll naturally take care of other people. Why? Because if you love yourself, then love is going to permeate out to other people. It's just how it is, right? But this is a concept that a lot of people just are not privy to because of the old paradigm. But for me, I actually practice it daily and it's changed my life. So, what are some practices that you're doing for yourself? What are some things that you're doing to yourself to make sure you're showing love? So, this is what I talked about taking walks, right? Making sure you're eating right. And that's something I'm working through, right? What about the conversation that you're having with people? Are you talking about gossip? Are you saying negative things about people? Well, how is that showing self love? Because basically, you're saying to yourself that you're concerned or feel threatened by somebody outside of you, right? But if you tap into one source and know that you're provided for, if you notice, I'll give you an example. If you notice, I just took a breath, right? We take these breaths every single day and we take them for granted. But the breath of life is how we survive. If we don't have a breath, then how are we going to take a step the next day? And we take it for granted. When you set your schedule and you look at your particular iPhones or your Android or you set up schedules, are you thinking, man, I wonder if I have enough breaths, right, to make sure I can have that meeting? No one ever thinks about that. However, go one day without a breath and see what happens. I guess we'll see you in the next life, right? So my point is, there's so many things out here that we could take for granted because we prioritize all about making money, all about material things, you know, this nice house, this nice car. And I'm not saying it's not cool to have nice things. Of course, it's cool. However, those things are basically cool to have, but that's not the priority, right? Where you are as far as who you are as a person. How is your character? Are you loving? Are you respectful? Are you honorable? Are you a person that does what you say you're going to do? Right? These are the things that people remember, right? If you were to go tomorrow, what would they say at your funeral? Would they say, oh, you know what? He was cool. You know, he had some nice kicks on, had a nice car. I mean, and that's cool. But if he was a cheat, disrespectful, wasn't really, you know, looking out for the community or his family, I mean, what type of person was he really? Right. And so I put these things out here because, like I said, I came from the D, seen all kind of dirt, all kind of weird situations. And if you come from that world, you may think that that's all that's out here. But I implore you to challenge yourself, to show love to yourself, to show some self-respect, to venture off and go into the great unknown and experience life on a whole nother level. Think about what I said earlier as far as all these trees out here that grow in Washington, right? Just think they were seedlings at one point. I mean, there's probably millions of trees out here, but they all were seedlings, and they're all competing for different types of growth. But at the end of the day, they all grow. How's that possible? Right? Are they out here trying to get rent? No. Are they out here, trying to work hard? No. All they're doing is being, right? And so I'm putting this out here because I challenge you to reach out, see what you can do to be in a place of being and allowing things to come to you because you feel that you're worthy of that, right? But the question is, what are you doing to show self love, right? Are you taking care of yourself so that you can take care of your family, so you can take care of your community? I don't know. You tell me. What are some things that we could do to show self love? So I want to say thank you so much for you girls, those individuals that reached out. ASO, appreciate you. Appreciate that individual gave us a like. Thank you so much. Reach out. What should we do for the show? What are some things that you guys want to talk about? Right? Is anything I'm saying resonating with you? Are you feeling like, you know what he's saying is making sense? If you feel that what I'm saying is hogwash, that's okay too. Let me know what you think. I'm curious to see what you think. There's some individuals that I've used and talked to and worked with, and their life has changed like dramatically. And maybe I should bring one or two more back on the show and they could talk to you guys. But I'm curious to see what are some things that you guys like to talk about, right? For mental health, right? Do you feel that what I said earlier as far as self-love, if that would be beneficial for you? Have you tried anything that we talked about to make sure that you are showing self-love to yourself, right? Or are you just going the same old, same old, same old? Help me understand. Is that working out for you? I mean, is it all about just that? I mean, for me, like I said earlier, coming from a place from the D, a lot of material, a lot of money, a lot of fast life. I would say a lot of anxiety, a lot of watching your back, looking over your shoulder, as they say, keep your head on the swivel. And I just got to a point where I just didn't want to live like that anymore. Until I had a situation that really got me to think about, what is life really about? What is life really about for you? Is it about peace? Is it about joy? Is it about love? Is it about respect? Is it about honor? Is it about enjoying it to the fullest? What does that look like for you? Right? So if you think about what I said earlier, as far as individuals that you deal with, taking those individuals as lessons in life or lessons in earth lessons, and humbly going within yourself to resolve the triggers that you may have felt through those situations and working through those. And then what will end up happening is your passivity or your aggression or your anger towards that person will lessen and lessen and lessen and less. And eventually you'll be okay, or you'll be at peace with that person. And then guess what? That person will probably end up going out of your life, and then someone else will come in your life because you've gotten peace with it. You're okay. You learn a lesson, and then you go to the next level, right? So think about that. What are some challenges you've had that you've overcome because you've learned the lessons, right? Are you struggling with anger? Are you struggling with pettiness? Are you struggling with jealousy, right? Anger? Are you struggling with what I like to call obsession? And this is important because it could be obsession in so many different angles. If you have a certain mindset, thought, that's a negative thought that you're constantly obsessing about, that's obsession, which is basically a negative, or what we call cognitive distortion, that's throwing you off, right? But if you're around people that don't really call you out with love and help support you with that, how would you know? You wouldn't know. You would think that's just how life is, right? But if you practice some of the things that I could teach you, you'll notice that your life will change for the better, right? Okay. So anyway, once again, I want to say I appreciate you guys reaching out. It's always a pleasure to kind of vibe with you guys. Just so you know, too, our next guest is going to be coming up, Better Together and Living Powerfully with Dr. Tracy Harrell. Make sure you guys check her out. She's on Mondays from 6 to 7. I'm not sure if she'll have a guest on, but make sure you guys check her out. Also, too, I want to say, make sure you guys get outside. Recently I went out to Deception Pass. For those individuals who like to be out in nature, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Also went out to Whitby State Park. I highly recommend getting away there. What I really liked about that park is it's very shady. So with all the trees around, and the sun was out, allowed me to kind of have a good time and not have to worry about getting burned. Unfortunately, the beach was closed, so couldn't really get caught up with water. However, it was shady, got caught up with a picnic, had a good time. So definitely recommend you guys take a look at that, right? But also too, I just want to say, hey, have fun. Make sure you guys spend some time in the fan and process this one thought before I leave. What are you doing to better yourself in terms of your mental health, right? If you're getting angry, what are you doing to minimize the anger for yourself, right? Are you resolving it or are you just getting more upset? What are you doing if you're noticing that you have certain habits that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired about? Are you changing those habits? If you need support, feel free to reach out to me, 586-719-5193, right? The Maassen Group. Make sure you guys reach out if you need help. I'm here to support you. I can become what I like to call your Jedi counsel to help you, right? To make sure we can help you become successful so that you can get off the ledge and step into a new life. Okay. All right, guys, it's about that time. Without further ado, I want to say peace. Again, one more shout out to our friend, Dr. Tracy Harrell. She'll be on Better Together, Living Powerfully from 6 to 7. Make sure you guys tune in and check her out. Also, make sure you guys stay safe out here, making sure you guys drinking a lot of water, making sure you guys are taking care of yourself from the heat. And you guys have a good one. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Deuces.